What's up, y'all? This is Stacey from H Blues Word. Thank you so much for joining me. So Issa Rae recently spoke out about what she feels is really like a mass cancellation of Black content and Black shows on television. She's saying this because her show, Rap-ish, was just recently canceled. And also The Wonder Years was just recently canceled. Niecy Nash's show, Rookie Feds, was canceled. The Black Lady Sketch Show was canceled. I mean, the list goes on. And actually, even the previous year, other Black shows were canceled. So Issa Rae is just really looking at this like it's some type of trend. Now, I know that the Emmys just happened, and we did see what I felt was quite a diverse amount of nominees and winners at the Emmys. So there still is Black representation, particularly at the major level or on the mainstream level. In fact, we saw Quinta Brunson won Best Actress in a Comedy Series after many decades of no Black actress winning in that category, but she won this year for her show Abbott Elementary, and we saw Niecy Nash won an Emmy as well. So there still is Black representation, but a lot is happening behind the scenes, and Issa Rae wanted to speak on that. So she said, "You're seeing so many Black shows get canceled. You're seeing so many executives, especially on the DEI side, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, get canned. You're seeing very clearly now that our stories are less of a priority. I am pessimistic because there's no one holding anybody accountable. And I can, sure, but also at what cost? I can't force you to make my stuff." And we know that Issa Rae is extremely talented. She started on YouTube actually with Awkward Black Girl, and that turned into Insecure, which has become really an iconic show and a show of our times. But she's making a valid point, and I have to say that this often happens in Hollywood, where we have kind of this renaissance, if you will, this golden era of Black content. In fact, if you go back to kind of the mid 80s to late 80s and 90s, you saw all this Black content in terms of television with The Cosby Show, A Different World, Living Single, Fresh Prince, Martin, etc. So you saw all of these great Black shows. And then even in film, you had Spike Lee, you had John Singleton, you had all of these Black directors doing their thing. And then all of a sudden there was a drought around, I would say around the late 90s into the early 2000s. And even Tyler Perry spoke on this. He said at one point when he started breaking in to the film business and even the television business, he spoke on how he was really the only one. And that's why he was kind of catching a lot of arrows. So he always promotes this idea of ownership, how we need to own our content so that we avoid these droughts. We have our own thing. Because with him, you know, he's outside really of the Hollywood system. He has his own studio in Atlanta. He still makes deals with studios or streaming services, but you know, he has his own thing and he can constantly create and get distribution. So he promotes this idea of independence, this idea of ownership. And I have to say that I wonder if we really will have the same drought that we had around the late 90s and early 2000s. Because, you know, around that time, we didn't have streaming services. We didn't have social media, but now we do. So there is a lot of room still for independent Black content. So there is actually a lot of Black content. May not be on the mainstream, but on the independent side, there's tons and tons of Black content. So should we be just okay with that? Really connecting with our audience directly and not worrying so much about the mainstream. Ava DuVernay, she was just recently on The Breakfast Club, and she spoke about how she paid for her latest film, Origin, herself. She did not want to wait to get the green light. She made it happen herself. She got her own distributor. She has her own company, Array. And I strongly suggest you go out and you check out that film. It is definitely a must see. And I'm going to be doing my own review on that very soon. But yes, Ava made that happen. And you also have 50 Cent, who just recently purchased a property in Louisiana to build his own studio. So there's a wave happening. Now, ultimately, of course, you want representation on all ends because this is America. This is a diverse nation. We should be represented everywhere, independently, mainstream, etc. But this is definitely a great opportunity during this time to connect with your audience directly and really just make your own content independently. But share your thoughts below on this topic. Should Issa Rae continue to fight to be a part of this mainstream system and other Black artists? Or should we focus more on the independent and maybe take the Tyler Perry route? Leave your comments below.